The galaxy was quiet that day. Ships moved through trade lanes, planets were busy with daily life, and everyone believed the Tyr'x Empire was in full control of the outer systems. But far away, on the edge of space, something strange happened. A signal came. Not just any signal. It was old. Very old. Human military code. The kind no one had seen in over 2 centuries. The signal came from the Tyr'x system. That system was marked as dead. Nothing lived there anymore. It was taken by the Tyr'x Empire during the Human-Tyr'x War 200 years ago. After that, all contact with human forces in that area was lost. Everyone believed the humans there had died. No one expected a signal from there. Not now. Not ever. The Galactic Council met in emergency session. Leaders of different alien species looked at the data with wide eyes. The signal was short, but strong. It repeated 3 words in human code. Outpost Orion 7 active. A deep silence filled the room. The name Orion 7 was once a secret human military outpost. It was created during the war to act as a final stronghold. But after the Tyr'x took control, it was assumed destroyed. No one had spoken of it since. The council leader, a tall, 4-eyed Sarakan named Vethar, stood up and gave orders. "Send a drone. I want to see what's there." Within hours, a small probe ship was launched. It entered the Tyr'x system quietly, using stealth technology. As it moved toward the signal's location, it sent back images, cloudy, distorted, but showing something shocking. There was movement on the planet Tyr'x 4. A base, structures, weapons, and then something impossible. A human flag. The drone zoomed in. It was a red and black flag, an old Earth military symbol, waving above a large bunker. The walls were made of old human steel mixed with parts of alien ships. It looked like the base had been rebuilt using Tyr'x tech. Before the drone could send more data, it was hit by a high-energy weapon. Destroyed instantly. But not before it sent back one last image. A human soldier in heavy armor, looking straight at the drone, standing tall with a weapon in hand. His armor had symbols of Earth Command, long thought extinct. The data shocked the entire galaxy. News spread fast. On every channel, the headlines screamed, "Human outpost alive in Tyr'x space." Lost soldiers return? Galaxy in shock. Is humanity back? In the Tyr'x Empire, panic began. Commanders held secret meetings. How could they lose control of a system and not know? How could a human outpost survive for 2 centuries under their noses? Meanwhile, deep inside the base on Tyr'x 4, alarms stopped. Commander Solace, leader of the humans in Outpost Orion 7, removed his helmet. His face was rough, eyes sharp. He looked at the control screen showing the destroyed drone. "They're watching now," he said. A younger soldier stepped forward. "Should we go silent again?" Solace shook his head. "No, let them know we're here. It's time." The room, around them, was full of soldiers, men and women born in this hidden place. They were descendants of the original Earth troops who had survived the war and gone underground. For generations, they had trained, prepared, and waited. The base had been powered by geothermal energy, hidden beneath the planet's surface. They had rebuilt everything, quietly, patiently. And now, after 200 years of silence, they had struck. Commander Solace walked through the command center. On screens, they watched the reactions from alien channels. He smiled. "They think we're ghosts," he said. "Let's make them believe in monsters." In orbit, several captured Tyr'x ships were being repaired. Human engineers worked with both old Earth tech and stolen alien systems. These humans were not just survivors. They were stronger, smarter. They had studied the enemy for generations, and now they were ready. A young tech officer walked over. "Commander, our signal reached Outposts Sigma 3 and Echo 5. They're still active." Solace looked surprised for a moment. Then he gave a small nod. "Good. Then it begins." Back in the core worlds of the Tyr'x Empire, leaders argued. Some said it was a trick. Others believed something bigger was happening. The idea that humans could survive and even destroy a Tyr'x base was terrifying. In one dark hall of the council, a Tyr'x general slammed his claws on the table. "We buried them. How are they still alive?" No one had answers, but one thing was clear. Outpost Orion 7 was not just alive. It was fighting back, and the galaxy was watching. The world thought they were dead. 200 years ago, when the human Tyr'x war reached its end, Outpost Orion 7 was cut off. The last message from the post said they were low on supplies, out of weapons, and surrounded by Tyr'x forces. After that, silence. Earth Command marked them as lost. Families cried. Historians wrote books calling them the Forgotten Soldiers. But the truth was different. Outpost Orion 7 never fell. Deep under the surface of planet Tyr'x 4, a hidden bunker stayed alive. The Tyr'x attacked hard, but they never found the full structure. Inside the bunker, around 300 human soldiers survived. Their commander at that time, Colonel Darius Salas, was smart. He knew they had no chance in direct combat, so he gave a new order: disappear. They went dark. No signals, no battles, no movement. They pretended to be dead while secretly building a future underground. Now, in the present, Commander Salas stood in the same control room where his grandfather once stood. This new Salas had never seen Earth. He was born inside Orion 7, trained in narrow halls, taught by warriors, and raised by survivors. His people called him the Flame of the Lost. He looked at the maps glowing on the screen. 3 Tyr'x bases had already fallen. One more was shaking. A single outpost had started something dangerous, something big. Inside the training room, young fighters ran drills. Boys and girls as young as 16 trained with weapons made from both human scrap and alien technology. Their movements were sharp, cold, and exact. They had learned one thing since birth: never be seen until it is too late. These people were not like other humans. They were harder. They never tasted peace. They grew up in a war that never ended. In the engineering bay, soldiers repaired captured Tyr'x drones. Mechanics in old combat suits adjusted plasma cores with steady hands. A group of tech officers stood around a large black device. It pulsed with a blue light. "Project Ember is ready," said one of them. Commander Salas nodded. "Good. We'll use it in Phase 2. Back in the command room, a message came through. A shaky signal, weak but clear. It was from another lost outpost. Sigma 3. Orion 7. This is Sigma. We received your signal. We live. Awaiting orders. Gasps filled the room. Eyes widened. Another outpost survived. Commander Salas pressed the button to respond. Sigma 3. We are initiating return protocol. The time has come. Prepare for coordination. In that moment, something changed. Orion 7 was no longer alone. The Forgotten War was not over. It was about to begin again. Outside the base, on the rocky hills of Tyr'x 4, a squad of Orion scouts moved silently through the terrain. They wore cloaks made of reflective material, invisible to the eye and to radar. These scouts had one mission: destroy the Tyr'x listening post nearby. Squad leader Sergeant Lena signaled her team to stop. She saw movement ahead. 2 Tyr'x guards stood near a tower. Lena used hand signals. 3 soldiers crawled forward. In seconds, the guards were down. No sound, no alarm. Within 5 minutes, the whole Tyr'x outpost was taken down. The humans planted explosives, set the timer, and vanished into the darkness. The explosion lit up the night sky, and with it, another alien stronghold turned to dust. Inside the Tyr'x High Command, panic started to grow. More bases were going dark. Ships weren't responding. Officers yelled across war rooms, but the reports all said the same thing: unknown attackers, unseen enemies. Human tactics confirmed. One general stood in front of the main war screen. They were supposed to be extinct, he said. What is happening? The answer came from an old Tyr'x historian. He whispered, the ghosts have returned. Back on Tyr'x 4, Salas met with his inner circle. The leaders of different units sat around a round table. We are not just fighting for survival anymore, Salas said. We are fighting to take back what was stolen. The Tyr'x thought we were weak, lost, broken, but we are ready. Every child born in these walls was born to fight. One of the officers asked, Commander, when do we strike the capital? Salas stood silent for a moment. Then he said, Not yet. First, we send the message. The whole galaxy must see us, hear us, fear us. He turned to the communications officer. Prepare the broadcast. That night, across hundreds of alien systems, screens flickered. The signal hacked into every news channel, every military feed, every device. A face appeared. Human. Scarred. Powerful. Commander Solace looked into the camera and said just 7 words. Orion 7 lives, and we are coming. Aliens all over the galaxy stared at their screens in silence. Children asked their parents, "Who are they?" Some old soldiers whispered the name Earthborn, but most just watched with growing fear, because they now understood something horrible. The humans never died, they just waited, and now they are back. The galaxy burned with whispers. After the broadcast of Commander Solace, panic spread fast. Alien traders canceled shipments. Mercenaries stopped traveling through human space. Tyr'x commanders demanded answers. Who were these humans? How did they survive? Why did they strike now? Inside the Tyr'x war chamber, Supreme Warlord Varnak slammed his fist on the table. "I want that outpost erased," he roared. "Send everything. Fighters, bombers, ships. End them." The order echoed across systems. Within hours, hundreds of Tyr'x warships moved toward Tellurus 4. Their goal was simple: destroy Orion 7 before it became something bigger. Before it became a revolution. But the Tyr'x made one mistake. They thought Orion 7 was just an old outpost. They didn't know it had become a fortress. As the alien fleet approached, inside Orion 7, the humans were already prepared. Commander Solace stood in the main war room watching every red dot on the screen. "They're coming," his officer whispered. Solace smiled. "Good. Let them." On the hills above the bunker, massive cannons rose from hidden towers. Stealth mines activated in orbit. Drones, built from both old Earth tech and stolen Tyr'x cores, buzzed to life. And far above, inside the shadow of the nearby moon, hidden human ships powered up their silent engines. Back on Earth, the galaxy watched through leaked feeds. The whole system had eyes on Tellurus 4. Everyone expected a massacre. They didn't expect what came next. The stars were no longer silent. Across the galaxy, humans hidden in the shadows lifted their heads and listened. The signal from Orion 7 had reached them. The battle had been won, Tyr'x forces destroyed. The impossible had happened. Humans had stood up and survived. But far away, deep in a dying solar system, a ship floated silently. It was massive, 10 kilometers long. Old, rusted, scarred. It looked dead, but inside, lights flickered on. A voice echoed through the dark halls. Signal confirmed. Orion 7 lives. "Commander Solace active," another voice responded. This one was sharper, colder, and deeper. "Wake the fleet." Giant reactors roared to life. Forgotten engines hummed. Sleeping soldiers opened their eyes after decades in cryo-sleep. These were not rebels. They were not farmers or engineers. They were warriors. The last survivors of Earth's true military force, the Black Star Division. When Earth fell, not everyone died. Some ships were sent into deep space, too far to be tracked by Tyr'x scanners. They were ordered to sleep, wait, and awaken only when a true signal came. That signal had now arrived. Captain Irina Kor stepped onto the command deck. Her uniform was faded, but her eyes burned bright. She stared at the map of known space. Tyr'x symbols covered most of it. But one system, Tellurus, glowed blue. "Orion 7, she whispered. "You actually made it." Behind her, a young officer spoke. "We have enough power to jump to the outer rim, no more. Should we go silent?" Irina shook her head. "No, set course. Maximum speed, full signal. Let the galaxy see us coming." "Ma'am," she smiled grimly. "The ghosts of Earth are back." As the fleet moved, news spread fast. Alien networks picked up strange energy readings. Hidden probes recorded giant human warships traveling through restricted systems. The Tyr'x High Council panicked. "They can't still be alive," one shouted. "They are, and they're moving toward Tellurus." Meanwhile, on Orion 7, Commander Solace received the incoming message. It was short. Just one line. "Black Star returns. Hold the gate." Solace stared in disbelief. He remembered the legends. Earth's elite unit, lost during the fall. Their ships were myths. Now, they were real. A cheer went up in the war room, but not everyone was celebrating. A small group of humans, once loyal to the Tyr'x, now watched in fear. They had sided with the enemy long ago to survive. Now they feared exposure. "What if they find us?" one whispered. "They won't," the leader said. "Unless someone talks." Back in space, the Black Star fleet approached the edge of Tyr'x-controlled systems. Alien warships moved to intercept, but they were too late. Black Star's lead ship, the Revenant, fired first. Its cannons weren't normal. They used gravitational shockwaves that bent space. One blast tore through 4 Tyr'x cruisers. The others tried to flee. They didn't make it. Fighter jets launched from hidden bays. Human pilots trained in silence and darkness moved like shadows. Tyr'x ships exploded one after another. It wasn't a battle. It was a message. The galaxy watched through secret feeds. Even the neutral species, those who never took sides, felt the shift. Humans were no longer weak. They were angry, and they were organized. As the fleet reached Tyr'x 4, Commander Salas stood on the landing platform. Dust blew around him. Behind him stood dozens of his people. Engineers, fighters, medics. The clouds parted, and the Revenant appeared. It slowly descended, casting a huge shadow. Lights glowed from its body like stars. The engines made no sound. Only the soft hum of power. The doors opened, and Captain Irina stepped out. She looked at Salas. "Nice place." Salas smiled. "We tried." They shook hands. 2 legends, one from Earth's past, one from its hidden future. Irina looked around. "We have more ships coming. Maybe a dozen. Most still waking up." Salas nodded. "You came just in time. The Tyr'x will return, and stronger." "We'll be ready," Irina replied. "But we're not here just to defend." Salas raised an eyebrow. "Then what?" "We're here to take back what was ours." Later that night, inside Orion 7's main chamber, the commanders planned. Salas opened the map of star systems. He pointed at 5 nearby Tyr'x colonies. "These control supply lines. Take them, and their whole arm breaks." Irina marked 3 more. "These are communications hubs. Destroy them, and they go blind." An officer asked, "Do we have the numbers?" Irina looked up. "No." Salas smiled. "But we have the will." The room went silent. Outside, the stars shimmered. The Earth fleet had returned, and the war for the galaxy was about to begin. As the Tyr'x fleet entered the atmosphere, the sky turned into fire. Hundreds of streaks glowed above the horizon. Alien fighters moved in formation. Bombers targeted the last known location of Orion 7. They launched the first strike. The surface exploded. Dust, fire, smoke. But when the smoke cleared, there was nothing there. No bunker, no heat signature, no base. Confused, the Tyr'x scanned again. Still nothing. Then came the sound. A pulse. A strange, deep tone echoed in every alien system. The Tyr'x ships suddenly lost radar. That's when Orion 7 attacked. From underground, anti-air missiles launched with deadly precision. Stealth drones cut through alien wings. Gravity mines pulled entire bombers into the ground. From the moon's shadow, 2 human battleships uncloaked and opened fire. Alien ships exploded in waves. The Tyr'x didn't understand. They had superior numbers, better ships, but they were losing, fast. Inside the command ship, a Tyr'x captain screamed, "They know our movement patterns. They hacked our controls." A young officer replied, "It's not hacking. They've been watching us for years." Below, Commander Salas walked through the bunker calmly. Officers rushed with updates. "We've downed 47 ships," one said. "Our orbital mines destroyed their flanking wave," another added. Salas nodded. "Begin Operation Ember." Inside the bunker, engineers activated a massive chamber. From within, a strange weapon rose. It glowed blue, wrapped in ancient wires and alien parts. This was the stolen core of an old Tyr'x relic, rebuilt by human hands. It wasn't a bomb. It was something worse. The pulse fired again, stronger this time. Tyr'x ships began falling from the sky, not from damage, but confusion. Their systems glitched. Weapons refused to fire. Pilots lost control of navigation. Commander Solace turned to his people. They called us ghosts. Now we haunt their skies. Within hours, the mighty Tyr'x fleet became a burning graveyard. The survivors fled. Some jumped into hyperspace. Others abandoned their ships and crashed on Tyr's 4's surface. But even on the ground, there was no safety. The human soldiers emerged from hidden tunnels like shadows. Silent. Ruthless. Their armor was scratched, but strong. Their weapons weren't shiny, but they worked. They hunted the Tyr'x one by one. For every human that fell, 5 aliens died. At the end of the battle, the once proud fleet was gone, and Orion 7 still stood. The galaxy was in shock. No one expected this. How could one outpost defeat a full Tyr'x strike force? How did they survive this long? How had Earth failed to tell the truth? Back in the command bunker, Solace stood before his people. "This was just the first," he said. "The Tyr'x will send more, and we will face them all." A young scout asked, "What now, Commander?" He looked at the stars glowing on the screen. Red marks for every alien system the Tyr'x controlled. "We don't wait anymore," he said. "We strike." That night, hidden messages were sent across the galaxy, to old human colonies, to sleeper cells, to others who had stayed silent for decades. We live. Orion stands. It begins. And far away, in a dark corner of space, something answered. Another voice. Another lost outpost. "We're ready." The galaxy was holding its breath. From one end to the other, news spread like fire. The hidden human outpost had survived, the Black Star fleet had returned, and the ancient enemies of Earth were finally afraid. But fear wasn't enough to stop. The Tyr'x high above the capital world of Zircon, deep in the heart of their empire. The Tyr'x Command Council met inside a massive obsidian tower. Their long arms clicked nervously. Their red eyes flashed. "The humans must be crushed now," shouted one commander, "before they become more than just a threat." Another hissed, "They already are." Orion 7 resists. 5 star systems are rebelling. They're spreading like a virus. A third slammed a claw on the table. "Then burn them all." So, they sent their greatest weapon. A warship not even Solace had seen before. The Eye of the Storm. It was unlike anything the humans had ever faced. Powered by dark energy, protected by gravity shields, and carrying over 10,000 Tyr'x soldiers, it moved through space like a black hole. Everything it touched vanished. The target was clear. Orion 7, Commander Solace stood before his people. The map showed the enemy's course. There was no time to run. No way to hide. He looked calm. "We will not run," he said. "We will not hide. This is our world. Let them come." In orbit above the planet, the Revenant and 4 other Black Star ships powered up. Fighter squadrons launched. Missile silos opened on the ground, and hidden turrets rose from the mountains. Everyone was ready to die, but no one was ready to surrender. As the Eye of the Storm arrived, darkness followed. It blocked the sun. Its engines howled across space. Then it opened fire. 3 human satellites exploded instantly. The shockwave tore across the upper atmosphere. Fighter jets fell from the sky like burning birds. Inside the Revenant, Captain, Irina stared at the screen. "That thing's not a ship," she muttered. "It's a monster." Solace appeared beside her on the comm screen. "Any plan?" Irina nodded. "One, but you're not going to like it." She opened a private channel. Code, Black Crown. Below Orion 7's surface, a long-buried machine came to life. It had no name. It had no crew. It was Earth's last weapon, a failsafe designed for one use only. As the Eye of the Storm moved into attack range, something rose from the planet's ocean, a massive black spear of metal covered in glowing blue veins. It flew toward the enemy ship at impossible speed. The Tyr'x tried to block it. They failed. The spear slammed into the enemy warship, not with fire, not with explosives, but with silence. The kind of silence that rips apart sound itself. A wave of gravity pulsed out in every direction. The shields on the Eye of the Storm bent inward. The dark engines cracked, and for the first time, the Tyr'x flagship screamed. Irina turned to her crew. All ships, fire everything. Hundreds of missiles flew through the sky. They didn't need to destroy it. They just needed to push. Inside the enemy ship, alarms blared. The captain barked orders, but the crew was blind. Systems failed. Gravity reversed. Soldiers floated helplessly inside as explosions tore through the halls. Solace watched from the ground. Then, in the sky, the impossible happened. The eye of the storm split in half. Its giant body, once unstoppable, now burned across the horizon like a falling moon. It crashed into the plains beyond Orion 7. A shockwave leveled mountains. But no human victory cheers echoed, only silence, because everyone knew this was not the end. This was the beginning. Later, a message was sent from Orion 7. Not a whisper, not a hidden signal, but a full transmission. It showed the broken body of the Tyr'x ship. It showed the humans standing tall. It showed the flag of Earth waving once, again, and Solace spoke to the galaxy. "This is Commander Solace of Orion 7. We are not hiding anymore. Earth lives. Its people live. And we will take back every star you stole from us." The message reached every planet, every station, every hidden colony, even the Tyr'x High Command. And they knew. The war they thought was over had just begun. But now, the humans were ready. They were no longer scattered. They were no longer slaves. They were defenders. And this time, they weren't fighting for survival. They were fighting to win.